This is the May edition of the JMDG Studios Game Center News. I'm Joseph Cooey.
I'm Josh Short.
Our headline news this time is the E3 coming soon. The official dates of E3 is June 5th through 7th, so that's a 3-day thing in Los Angeles.
Awesome.
These are just some of the games that they're expecting to be there. Pikmin 3 is a given. It's supposed to be on the Wii U, and Luigi's Mansion 2, the new Super Smash Brothers game, Paper Mario 3DS. Those are all for Nintendo, and of course Nintendo's going to be showing the Wii U. They're supposed to be announcing the price or a price range of the Wii U, along with the new changes they've made to the controller, and I'm hoping to see some gameplay videos out of that. Also, from Sony and Microsoft, we have PlayStation All-Stars, Tomb Raider, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Halo 4.
Halo 4. That's good. And yes, next month there is a couple of good games coming out, which, man, I'm excited for. I mean, Pokemon Conquest, it comes out June 18th. Darksiders 2, oh, that looks awesome. The 26th. Amazing Spider-Man, which looks really cool. They have this new web ability. Man, you should see, like, you can lock onto something. Like, you can see where you're going. It just looks really cool. Heroes of
Ruin.
Heroes of Rome. Captain Jack Sparrow. It's on the 26th.
Unfortunately, that one has been cancelled.
Yes. Which, speaking of which, the Pirates of the Caribbean Armada of the Damned. Oh, they canceled it. Why? And Lego Batman 2 DC Heroes, which looks really cool. Get it. Because Joker wants you to. Joker first.
The Amazing Spider-Man, elaborating more on that. The movie comes out July 3rd, and the game comes out June 26th, of course. Like every other game coming out in June, it's on the 26th. Anyways, The Amazing Spider-Man is supposed to be a complete reboot of the series. So basically this game is supposed to just blow your head off. I mean, seriously, that's what it's going to do. The game is going to be the first open world Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2. Everybody is excited about that. And it's not just going to be that, but Beenox is taking the combat system, which everyone loved from Spider-Man Edge of Time and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And they're incorporating that, plus a whole new array of new moves and new abilities in The Amazing Spider-Man. IGN has already previewed this game, and they say it's amazing, obviously. It's got a title. And also, if you go to Hardee's, you can get a bunch of Amazing Spider-Man toys. It's really one of the first times and only times that Hardee's has ever done anything like that. So, you know, based off of a big popular game like that. So, go there and get it.
We'll die. Anyway, so in gaming news, like anything like really big going on with gaming studios and such, nothing much has really happened this month. I mean, that we know of anyway, and you know, we know a lot. We know everything. Sometimes. Anyway, but there was some big news from last month, which, you know, I actually did not know about myself till now, is that Ubisoft has been sued, which is weird. I mean, the story behind it is just freaking crazy. I mean, this guy writes a book about time travel, you know, all this stuff, like the person can go back in time and take, you know, like the role of their ancestor, and I mean, it's just, I mean, he keeps trying to say that Assassin's Creed, you know, they stole his idea from him. And I mean, the bad thing about this, you know, and the book is called Link, but I mean, the bad thing about all that could be Assassin's Creed 3 may be halted. Can you believe it if Assassin's Creed 3 was halted?
I'm here with Rock Buddy to do some reviews on these three games and Prototype. So we're taking a bunch of different reviews from different places like IGN and GameSpot, and then we're giving our own review. Yeah, so first up we got Kinect Star Wars. It's for the Xbox 360 Kinect. Anyways, IGN gave it a 5.5. GameSpot gave it a 5, and our little group here at JMGJ Studios gave it a 7.7, which I thought it was a decent game when I played of it. The motion controls were pretty good. I mean, you look stupid playing it, but it's fun. Next we have Spirit Camera for the Nintendo 3DS, and IGN gave it a 5.5, GameSpot gave it a 7.7, and here at JMGJ Studios we gave it a bitch. I've never played it, I don't know how it is. But next we have Xenoblade Chronicles. We need a new Wii for this one. And IGN gave it a 9, GameSpot gave it a 9, and we here at JMGJ Studios gave it an 8. So pretty much I think that's Rocktacular. It's a pretty awesome game. Got the best scores. Prototype 2, IGN gave it a 7, GameSpot gave it a 7.5, and here at JMGJ Studios gave it a 7.5 also. I haven't played it. I've seen a little bit of the first one. It was good. So that's it for news.
Hello, I'm Michael White, and once again I'm going to give you the video game sales courtesy of VG Charts, or Video Game Charts with a Z. And then number one sell is Diablo 3 for the PC, followed by Max Payne 3 and Max Payne 3 for the Xbox 360 and PS3 respectively. Then it's the Game of Thrones for the Xbox 360 in fourth, and in fifth it's the Game of Thrones again for the PlayStation 3. And number 6 it's MLB L12, the show, for the PlayStation 3. In seventh place is Starhawk for the PlayStation 3. In eighth is Prototype 2 for the Xbox 360. In ninth we have Sniper Elite V2 for the Xbox 360. And in 10th place is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Hello, this is Joshua Creary with Sports, and today, well, the only sport that came out this month, the sport game was Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 3DS. Okay, this game, you can play as the Lumnar from Super Mario Galaxy. Is that's his name, right? Luma, okay. So you can play as him in this game. He's one of the mini characters. You can play as your Mii from the Nintendo 3DS or Wii, and you can play as your favorite Mushroom Kingdom character as well, and you can customize your character and your tennis racket, and it's an online game, I'm pretty positive.
Hello, thanks for joining me this evening. Okay, just have to. Anyway, so now I'm going to talk about a Game of Thrones. I don't know how many people have seen it, but you know, like the show, the books, and anything. Okay, well, let me just start. So basically, a guy by the name of George R.R. Martin wrote a series of books, and he's still writing them actually. I think 5 of them are out now. I have them. They're pretty good books too. But anyway, you know, they were really popular. They were really popular series of books. People loved them. But I mean, the first one came out like forgive me if this is wrong here. It was 1990 something. I don't know. I'm not going to try to do it, but it's 1990 something. But it was a long time ago. You know, people read it. But anyway, it sparked a show on HBO, which I've watched. Awesome show. And at the time I'm recording this, in 2 days, the Battle of Blackwater will be happening. 2 days! The Battle of Blackwater. And you all know who are fans of it, what it is. It looks awesome. I can't wait. I hope it is. Anyway, so a game for it to come out this past week. And it's actually sold pretty well for a, you know, like a TV show type of game. How many TV shows actually get games, you know, I mean, that are good? But anyway, okay, the game. Game of Thrones is basically, it's about a bunch of kings wanting this one throne. They fight each other. Well, I mean, if you know what, if you've actually done this, read the series or watched the TV show, you know what it's about. But the game follows completely new characters, Mors and Alistair. They are, one of them is a red priest, which means he can do magic. He can even set his sword on fire. Really cool stuff. He can even talk to people through fire, which is really creepy if you see it. And Mors is a Night's Watchman, and he's just kind of like the tough, guy who carries big weapons and kills people. But the game's story is pretty good. I mean, it kind of keeps you guessing. You're trying to, I don't know, it's just interesting. It keeps you pretty interested. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, you'll probably like it. Is it the best game out there? No. No, it's not the best game. The graphics are not usually, what would be considered nowadays really fancy type of graphics. They're not. I mean, most of the time it's just, they don't, one thing that I've noticed is they don't really move this part of their head much. It's more just like the mouthing is alright, but it's like there's no, eyebrow movement. There's some, but there's not much. Most of it's just kind of like, Master Lewin, it's good to see you again. Oh, there's a dragon over there. We must run. That type of thing. Not much expression. But the combat system is kind of interesting too, because it's kind of turn-based. It's kind of like, but it doesn't stop. It actually doesn't stop. You move the character, you pick the attacks and like slots, and you attack them. But it's a very, some people have said it's repetitive. They have, but I mean, overall, I found it pretty interesting to me. But I'm kind of biased, I guess, in a way, because I'm a fan of the books and the show. So I mean, in a game like that, I mean, maybe it's not the best game. Maybe it could have been better, but it's still you get to play Game of Thrones in the universe. So basically, I mean, if you're a fan of the show, I want to buy it. If you're not, I don't know if it just satisfy the average ordinary gamer, but give it a try. The Walking Dead, episode 1 from Telltale. Most of the time it's not chocolate. Anyway,
Pika, pika.
There's an oatmeal cake flying through the air. Anyway, so the Walking Dead, episode 1, has done extremely well from Telltale. I mean, they've made some pretty good games in the past. Some people, they didn't like Jurassic Park. They didn't, but I did. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there's not many Jurassic Park games out there. And Back to the Future, people thought it was, alright. They didn't say it was best or whatever. But take it from the person behind the camera. Yeah. So Walking Dead, episode 1. It was, I mean, it's done extremely well, and everybody says it's great. I mean, I haven't actually got to play it myself, but I want to. Because, I mean, they said it is cool. And, I mean, if anybody knows what Walking Dead is, the comic books, the series, it usually is pretty good. I mean, it gives you a different take on the zombies. You feel sorry because you see, there are people just been infected with this. They come back. I mean, people aren't there anymore. But, it's kind of hard to associate, kind of like mom or something like that, Walk in there, you fight her as a zombie. She tries to kill you. Are you going to kill her? You don't know. Well, I mean, she's got you covered and you have to. Anyway, but, Walking Dead gets some strange looks.
Have you did that before?
Anyway, but definitely from what I've heard, go play it, because I want to play it. I haven't got to play it, but I want to. Man, it looks cool. I like the style. It's got kind of like a comic book type of style, type of thing look to it, cell shaded. And man, it just looks good from everything I've heard. So, you want to buy it, you buy it. You want to play it. So basically, that's pretty much it. Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. I mean, fan of Game of Thrones, check it out. If you're not, check it out anyway. See what you think. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Like I said, I liked it. And Walking Dead, check it out too, because I want to check it out. Everybody wants to check it out. So check out what you want to check out. Check it out. Ash, don't lick that! I told Pikachu don't lick that kind of stuff.
Hello, and I am here to do the review for Max Payne 3, and may I say it's a really good game. There are some tiny things, very tiny, but overall the overall package is fantastic. So let's get straight into it. The game itself. It's been nearly a decade since Max Payne made his return, and now it is back and better than ever. And may I say, for those who are worried about this game, you definitely need to pick this one up. This is a game that is like Red Dead Redemption, a lot like Mass Effect, and a lot like Assassin's Creed in the way that it's going to be a timeless game. It's going to be a classic. So let's get straight to it. The gameplay, of course, is similar to the original Max Payne franchise. The bullet time, you just need to basically know your painkillers, your bullet time, your shoot dodge, and of course the shoot button. That's pretty much all you need to know. However, they've changed it up a little bit. The AI and the enemy intelligence is extremely smart, to the point of where some of the enemies will literally flank you while the other storms you. So it gets very difficult at times. Even on the easiest of difficulty, the game is very tough. This is a true gamer's game, meaning there's no regenerative health, you got painkillers, and you got limited ammo, so you got to be smart with what you do with it. The graphics and the way it's presented, the presentation of it is fantastic. I have to say this is one of the coolest parts of the game, is that as the story progresses in true Max Payne form, it's like a graphic novel storytelling, except now they take real-time photos of the game. Like as the game's going, they will take real-time pictures and put it into a graphic novel form. And it's really cool and cutting edge that they've been able to do that. And again, Rockstar always impresses, so this is their big impress thing. I have to say, I was very shocked by the story. I was actually not really anticipating the story to be this good, but the story is fantastic. Overall, it's one of the best Rockstar games I've ever played. Maybe the best at this current time. It is fantastic. A word of warning: the game is very violent. It's very violent. It's probably the most violent game I've ever played. Like, I've played some violent games in my lifetime, but it's pretty bad. To the point, and Rockstar did, of course, went into detail. They went and researched Sao Paulo, and it got to the point. This is kind of a spoiler, but it got to the point of where, at one point in the game, there's a man who gets burned alive. And it is shown to be an ancient ritual of games in Sao Paulo, which I think that's kind of scary that they went into that much detail just to put that into a game. Multiplayer itself is fantastic. It's amazing how they incorporated all the cool things from the single player into the multiplayer, and they even have a story for the multiplayer, so it's a really great game overall, especially Gang Wars. It's fantastic, and Painkiller is so much fun. I won't go into too much detail about multiplayer because that's probably the biggest surprise you'll have about the game. But there are so many good things about Max Payne 3 that I would be afraid to try and list them all, for I would be afraid to miss something. Little things that I have an issue with compared to Rockstar's old games like Grand Theft Auto and LA Noire. Well, even though I was produced by Team Bondi, and Red Dead Redemption, it's not exactly an open world game. It's a very linear game. There is a couple moments in the game where you're allowed to explore and look for clues, like in LA Noire, but it's not so much of open world. It's more like you're in an open world environment, but it's pretty much you go to point A to point B. But even with that, that's just a tiny complaint from me about this. I mean, it's such a great game. You definitely need to pick this up. Overall, I would probably give the game a near perfect score, just mainly because it's not as open world as I think it should be. So I'm going to give it probably a 9.7, and I would definitely rank it as one of this year's Game of the Years, and the underdog in this case of Rockstar's long past. This game really brought to the show, so definitely go pick it up. And this cat seems to like me a lot, so I'm going to play with this cat some more.
Hey, want some jelly donuts? Yeah!